You ever hear something so strange, so deeply unsettling, that it sticks with you for days? This story is like that, and I still can't believe it really happened. Back in 2015, in a quiet little neighborhood in Lebanon, Missouri, a place where folks leave their doors unlocked and everyone knows each other, a man named Dave Anderson got a call that changed his life. Dave was in his late 40s, single, worked maintenance at a local hospital. Pretty normal guy. He owned a small home at the edge of town that he'd inherited from his uncle, an old-school farmer who passed away the year before. It wasn't anything special, just a one-story place with a shed out back and a detached garage with an old meat freezer. Now here's where things start to get weird. That freezer? It hadn't been opened in years. Everyone in town knew it. Dave's uncle used to store deer meat in it, but after he got sick, the electricity to the garage had been shut off. Dave had always meant to clean it out, but, life gets busy. Until one hot July afternoon, when the stench became unbearable. Dave had just pulled up from work when he caught a smell so strong it nearly knocked him over. He thought maybe an animal had crawled into the garage and died. So he grabbed a flashlight, held his breath, and pulled the freezer open. What he found inside wasn't an animal. There, curled up in the fetal position, was the body of a woman. Frozen, but clearly dead for a long time. She had long black hair, and even though her skin was a sickly bluish gray, she still looked young, maybe in her 30s. She was fully clothed, her eyes wide open, and her mouth looked like it had been sewn shut. Dave backed out of the garage so fast he nearly tripped over his own feet. He called the police immediately. The whole neighborhood got locked down. Local news vans showed up within the hour. People were shocked, terrified. No one could understand how a body had been in that freezer for so long, and no one had noticed. But then came the biggest twist. When police examined the body, they found something inside the woman's coat. A note, folded in half, written in shaky handwriting. It said, "She isn't dead, she's waiting." Let that sink in for a moment. The authorities obviously didn't buy into the supernatural. They ruled it a homicide, maybe decades old. But here's the part that was never released to the public. Something only Dave shared later in a late-night podcast interview, sounding like a man who hadn't slept in days. He said that 2 nights after the body was removed, he started hearing tapping sounds from the garage. He thought maybe the freezer was leaking or making some weird noise now that it was empty. But then, one night, around 3:30 a.m., he woke up to the sound of the freezer lid slamming shut. He hadn't gone near it since the police left, and there was no one else on the property. He walked out with a baseball bat in one hand and a flashlight in the other. Everything looked normal, until he noticed something etched into the wood just above the freezer. 4 words, scratched in with what looked like a key or a nail. "She knows you looked." Dave sold the house a month later, moved across the country, changed his phone number. He refuses to talk about it now. But the people who live there today? According to a Reddit thread from just last year, they've had some strange experiences too. The garage light flickers on by itself. Sometimes at night, they hear what sounds like whispering. And once, the new owner swore he saw a woman with long black hair walking around the backyard, even though no one else was there. Now here's the question. What do you think was going on in that freezer? Was it just a tragic murder? Or is there something more? Something waiting to finish what it started? Let me know what you think in the comments. And if stories like this keep you up at night, don't forget to subscribe to Ghost Story 2.0 because we've got more terrifying true tales coming your way real soon.